So in this video, we're talking about how to personalize cold email outreach, because we all know that personalization is key to get really good reply rates and really good response and meeting rates. So it's key to personalize, but there are a few different ways you can do it. And it kind of depends. I mean, there's a few tricks I'm going to show you, so stick around. I have a couple of really unique, interesting ways to personalize. But it really depends where you are, how big is your total addressable market, your TAM, or even more importantly, your SAM, your serviceable addressable market. And the reason is, if you're on the lower stage of how big your market is and how many prospects there really are, like if you only have 100 to a few thousand prospects, then you really need to get hyper personal to a really ABM, account-based marketing strategy, omni-channel. You should be reaching out to these people on numerous channels like LinkedIn, cold email, maybe doing some advertising on LinkedIn to them specifically as well. That's really, really important. If you're kind of more in the middle where you have tens of thousands to maybe up to a few hundred thousand, then you're more in the realm of where this video is going to be focused on mostly, and we can then start automating it a lot more. And there's a balance between automation and personalization, and we need to find where we stand within that balance. And I always side a little bit more close to the personalization, using automation to help us scale the personalization. So that's where we're looking at. And finally, if you're more in the millions or many hundreds of thousands to millions, your prospect list, you're probably more B2C, and this video doesn't really tackle that much. You can really side on massive automation, really low conversion rates, but you can just go out to many people and get low conversion rates and still do good enough to make an impact in your business. So the first one I'm going to talk about is like trying to segment your prospects into buckets. And what that means is trying to figure out how to slice up your prospects. So, you might be going after SaaS founders or something like this, or maybe just SaaS companies, and there might be, different job roles. Well, there are numerous ways we can slice this up, and numerous ways we can add some kind of put different prospects or different companies into different buckets so we can add some personalization. So let me show you what I'm talking about. And there are numerous ways to do this. So the first way is to do it by job title. It's like the least creative way, but it can be an okay way of doing it. An example is that I used to call myself the head of growth, and I did a campaign which worked really well, which was to other heads of growth in software companies. And that's how I segmented it. And my personalization was something like, hey, I'm also a head of growth. So there's that. It's a small bit of personalization, but it's kind of like, I managed to put it in a way where it put a grin on these people. And it does add some kind of element of personalization. You're just going to get much better reply rates by just doing that small segmentation. So on the scale of automation versus personalization, it's not that personal, but I'm going to show you some way more personal ways to do it, and even some scalable personal ways. But buckets is a really, really good way of doing it. So, for another one, I have a video which is all to do with tech stack and how to find basically the tech stack. Go check out the video, I'll put it in the description below. But basically I use Built With, or there are a few other tools. You can look in the other video I made, there's a few other tools like Snovio. And basically you can search companies based on the tech stack. Are they using HubSpot? Are they using LinkedIn ads? Do they have a LinkedIn ads insight tag on their website? Do they have Google Analytics but not LinkedIn ads? So I can use this as a LinkedIn ads pro to go, hey, they got Google Analytics, not LinkedIn insight. So I go, I've noticed you have Google Analytics installed on your website, but not LinkedIn ads. But you're not running LinkedIn ads. Is this something you would consider talking to me about? Because they're super, super cool. But that little personalization kind of just gets through the fluff and gets them to go, he's done some research in me, even though it's kind of, I can bucket even a few hundred to a few thousand people like this. And I can do a lot with tech stack. I like tech stack a lot. Maybe it's HubSpot. You're trying to say, hey, I noticed you're using HubSpot. It's something simple like that. Just gets through the crap and makes people think you've done a tiny bit of research on them at least. Another one I've been doing is just checking if they run LinkedIn ads. That I'll group people in with, if they do already have the LinkedIn, they already have LinkedIn ads or have a LinkedIn Insight tag on their website, or they don't. And the ones that do, I say, hey, I noticed you are running LinkedIn ads. Would you like me to do an audit to double check how you guys are doing? That's a really, really good way to do it for me. And you got to think about how that works with your service. But the other one is if they're not, I say, hey, I noticed you're not running LinkedIn ads. Would this be something you want to talk to me about? So that's tech stack is a really good way. Check out Built With. Check out my video that I made already about this, which is called How to Find the Tech Stack of Any Website. Great for cold email. The next one is Facebook groups. So I have another video about this already as well. But basically, Facebook groups is an interesting way of segmenting and personalization. Because if you, for example, you scrape a Facebook group and get the email addresses of everyone in that Facebook group. So if you want to know how to do that, I have another video, how to get emails from Facebook groups in 2020 using Phantom Buster. Check that one out. But basically, if you're trying to do... if you scrape a group, say you're scraping scaling SaaS founders, which sorry Paul, or whoever Dan or whoever is there, but say if you do that, then you can send an email to everyone in that group and say, hey, I noticed you're in the group of scaling SaaS founders. I am too. How are you finding it? By the way, have you considered LinkedIn for your SaaS business to scale your SaaS business with LinkedIn advertising? Do you start to see how this can be used, like Facebook groups for personalization? Just mention the Facebook groups, mention you've seen them there, even if you really haven't because you've scraped the group and you've used an automated Phantom Buster just to go and do it for you. But are you seeing how valuable this can be? So I just want to pause really quickly and just ask you, if you're getting value from this, please hit that like button. It helps me a lot. So yeah, continuing, Facebook groups are a really good one. But actually another really good one is LinkedIn groups. Like you can go to the LinkedIn groups. LinkedIn groups are really people who are very, very passionate about a topic are part of LinkedIn groups. So for example, if you go to work and you go down to groups, you can join a bunch of groups and you can find groups which are something related to the service you provide. So groups are great because they show some kind of intent. The people in the group potentially have an intent. For example, there might be a group learning about a certain topic. So they've joined that group because they want to know more about the topic, but that might be your profession. So you can go out to that whole group via email, not bugging the group at all, because the group owner will be annoyed at you if you start spamming the group. You can just email all those individuals and say, hey, I noticed you're in the group. Is this something you need help with? Because this is the service I provide. So I do that with LinkedIn ads. It's really great. But you can do it with your own service. So groups are a really good one. Check out my video on how to scrape groups and go do it. It's a really good one. Another one, for example, is to base it around, for example, Crunchbase is a great database around tech companies, and you can kind of basically segment audiences based on this. So for example, the most obvious one here is based on getting funded. So you can see here that you can enter like the last funding amount, or in the last 90 days they got funded Series A, and let's see, there's 986 companies that got funded in Series A in the last 90 days. So you can go out to all of these and go, yo, I just noticed you got funded, so cool, blah blah blah. I mean, you can even get more segmented and create a snippet which is so cool you got funded, and the snippet is by this company. That's great because it actually tells you what company funded them as well. And you can add a snippet, say in woodpecker.co, which is the cold email platform I use. I'll put it in the link description below. But woodpecker.co, or say Snovio, I'll also leave a description. You can add like little personalization snippets by saying, I noticed you got funded by, and then enter snippet. And in your spreadsheet, you can have the snippet there. You can have literally like the name of the funder, and it'll just automatically do that. And you can send this out to all 986 people slowly over the course of a few days. So yeah, the most obvious is that, but then you can also do, they even have one called Signals, which is leadership hire, no layoffs. So maybe it's a leadership hire and you check out, oh, they've just, hired some leadership in the past 30 days. I'm not sure how you can do that. They got contacts. What's this again? The point is that there are numerous ways you can segment just with Crunchbase alone, and then you can just put them into buckets based on the behavior they've had, or potential, the behavior they've had, or generally behavior with Crunchbase, intent with groups. So that's really great, and that's how you can do it. We're trying to go from like lists of 10,000s to like hundreds, and just do some, do automation to hundreds or even a few thousand at a time. So that's what we're trying to do. The next one is, for example, this. I'm just giving you ideas because there's so many ways of segmenting, and you got to think about your own, business, your own demographic, your own like who you're targeting and what their intent is, what kind of groups they're doing, what's their behavior. But another one is like job posts on AngelList. Like there are startups posting on AngelList every single day about, oh, we're looking for a, marketing director, we're looking for a growth professional, we're looking for a tech guy, we're looking for a CEO. And you can then use that and go, hey, I notice you're looking for a growth professional. How about instead of, hiring someone, which is a pain in the ass and they cost, like 80K a year for growth director, you just hire us as an agency. We will probably cost you less. You can fire us whenever you want, and we will probably do a better job because we're highly, highly specialized. So you can use that segment to see, okay, they're posting for a certain type of job, which is basically the service I provide, but I'm not looking for a job. I'm looking to provide that as a service, as a freelancer or as an agency. So you can use that. You can also go to LinkedIn jobs and also segment in that way. So that's another really, really great way. But I want you to use your own imagination. What are the behaviors or what are the intent of your segment, of your audience, who you're targeting, your potential customers? What behaviors are they have? What groups are they joining? Where do they hang out? What is a potential way you can segment your audience? So the next way, which is a tried and tested way, this is one of my favorite ways because I know it works really, really, really well, and you should just try to do this. The only downside of this is quite time consuming. So basically this is the first liner method. We're basically trying to write a personalized first line for each prospect. So we basically create a mega spreadsheet with all the names, first name, last name, LinkedIn profile URL, email address. We can go to Snovio and get the email addresses of all these people. First, I scrape them on LinkedIn or wherever I've gone, Crunchbase, and then we have this list. And what I do, or what I hire someone to do, is to go through the list one by one and write a personalized first liner. And it works really, really well because if you write that personalized first line, you'll get better open rates because, remember, when someone looks at your email, before they even open your email, they can see a few characters of the first line. And when they see something like, wow, this looks kind of personalized, they'll open it. So the open rate goes through the roof, and then the reply and response rate goes through the roof as well because they're like, this isn't automated shit. This is someone who's actually put some effort into it. So the first liner method is a tried and tested way, and 100%, if you're unsure which way to go about it, this is a really good way, just a bit time consuming. So how we do this is, for example, we create the spreadsheet, which is really clear. We sit down for a few hours, and then we just do this over and over again. We click on their LinkedIn profile. We go here, it takes us to LinkedIn, and it takes roughly 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes per profile. And okay, so we got, I've never done this guy before. He's Mark Edson. The first place I normally go is the activity. I click on see all activity. And then the first place I like to go is articles. And he's not written any articles. But basically, if someone has written an article, then I would go into the article, I would skim it, try to find a very specific part of the article, and then go, hey, Mark, I saw your article on LinkedIn. I really especially liked this specific part within the article. It's really interesting. Thanks for writing it. Then go into your sales pitch. So that's the first liner I would do of article. Article's always really good because people have an ego over articles. So if you compliment the article, you show them that you've read it, then you've really cut through and you'll probably got their attention. The next part is like just what posts have they been doing, and it has to be recent posts. Last time joined our Dealing with Complex SaaS webinar in an hour. So yeah, you could, for example, here say, hey, I noticed you did a webinar about a month ago, and about dealing with complex SaaS. How did that go? Did it go well? That could be your first liner just by looking at a post they did. And then if they haven't had a post, then I would probably go back to their profile and try to just find anything that I can kind of relate to. Did they work somewhere that I've worked with before? Adventure travel photographer, an aerial videographer. Interesting. Okay, here we go. So adventure travel photographer. I can now relate to this and go, hey, I noticed you're an adventure travel photographer and aerial videographer. I've been playing around with drones for years myself, and I'm a documentary filmmaker, which I am. I've made a couple of documentaries, if you didn't know that about me. But I can relate to that and go, that's so cool. I wish I was you. And I'd write something tongue-in-cheek like, I wish, that is so cool. This has been my life dream and a passion of mine I do on the side for fun. You're living the life. That's so cool. And then I'd go into the sales pitch. Sorry to bother you. This is what I want to really talk to you about today. And I'm cutting through. I'm really complimenting him. I'm showing that I've done some research. Trust me, this gets really high reply rates when you go along these lines. Another thing is you can check out if they've got a university you went to, or some people went to, and you're just basically trying to find something to relate to and something unique. If you can't find it here, then the next place I'd go is just go to the company that, they're the account director of Vivian. So the next place, so I'd first try to go to them personally, find something they're personally doing. And then if I'm struggling, I found 2 things though there, and there's a few things you can look at. And if I'm really struggling, then I'll go to the company and try to find something cool the company has done and maybe related to what they maybe had something to do with. And if I'm really struggling, maybe it's a funding round. When I'm really, really, really struggling, then I'll start going to Google, Instagram, trying to figure out if I can just stalk this person a bit more. But you don't want to spend too long on each first liner, but I can guarantee you this is a tried and tested method, and it's just gonna get your results through the roof, but it's a lot of effort. So if you can do it yourself, if you don't have much work on it at the moment, then just go out and send 50 emails a day for a week, and I can assure you you're going to have appointments booked for your service. People are going to be calling you, or you're going to be setting appointments for yourself. If you're very busy, then just make sure you learn how to do it really, really well, and then just hire someone to do it. It's not easy to hire someone. It's not actually that cheap, because it's, if you're thinking about to do 2,000 of these, it's going to cost, I don't know, $1 per contact to pay someone on Upwork to do it. And so we're talking about a couple of $1,000s for a couple of 1,000 contacts. It's not cheap, but if you have an intern or someone in-house, then that's also an option. But I can guarantee you, just get your spreadsheet like this, first name, last name, first liner, then you can input this into Snovio or any cold email, outbound cold email tool you're using, and just create a snippet. So you write, hey, name, comma, snippet 1, and you create this column as snippet 1, and it automatically puts that in. Then you keep the sales pitch and the call to action the same, or you can A/B test those in your cold email outbound as well, which I recommend actually. But the first liner, this is how you do it, and I would just recommend, if you're struggling to get cold email to work for you, just do this. So I had really, really great success with a concept I created using an advanced automation personalization tool, which is Lemlist. You have to pay for the I don't remember what it's called, but it's the more expensive version of Lemlist. It's the most expensive one. But you get access to these advanced features. I don't have access to them anymore, so I can't show you the page where this goes to. But basically, let me explain you the concept, then I'm going to show you the results I got from this. So you can copy this. And it came from basically during COVID, everyone started doing meetings on Zoom, and what I decided to do is you can create these dynamic elements. So for example, this is just a photograph put there, and this is a photograph of a colleague of mine put there as well, or previous colleague, and basically in the background, and I put this element also on the foreground, and the background is a dynamic element. And what it actually does is it goes to it, like when you upload in Lemlist a list of email addresses, it goes like it's John at superlumen.co. It'll go to superlumen.co, take a screenshot of the homepage, and embed it there in the background. So it looks like we're literally on their website and we've taken a screenshot. And my message is basically, hey, we're just checking out your website on a weekly Zoom meeting, and we made you a quick video. Click on below to check it out. And I had a really, really great response to this, because it looks like we're automating personalization. And, there are some people who are like, you're just scamming people. You're just, tricking people into clicking. Whatever you say, this works. And it's actually a really good way just to get the attention of people. I had zero, I think. I can't remember totally, but I think I got basically 0 rude or bad replies. This actually did better than sending out just a normal message, which isn't personalized enough. This is way better and less bad replies than something that's not personalized enough. So basically, it's this dynamic element. It goes out automatically to your list. So the one thing you need to do is check your list, triple check it to triple check that each of the domains are there. And you definitely have no Gmails in there somewhere. It's all at the company name. And then when you click it, it goes to a separate landing page where it has the video, some kind of, so it's a dynamic landing page which includes their name, their logo, and it has your video, and it has like a little spiel there saying, hey John, thanks for clicking here, for checking out this video. If you had 20 minutes, click and book into my calendar. And the video's there with me and my previous colleague here. We're saying, hey, thanks so much for clicking. We were going through our weekly meeting. You guys came up and we really wanted to talk to you about this. We do LinkedIn ads, blah, 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 blah. This is the thing we do. You keep the video really short and sweet, maybe like 1 minute, 1.5 minutes maximum. Keep it short. Just kind of say what you do, what your pitch, your main USPs, and then point down and go book into the calendar. So part of the cool thing about this is your calendar is embedded right there on this dynamic page. So people can just they click on this, which has a really high click-through rate. They land on that landing page. They see their name and their logo. They see that video, which is they see your face. They see you talking. So they're creating this personal connection to you already. And they have the calendar just there to be clicked. So suddenly you're just getting people to click. So it worked really well. And you can scale this. You can put as many names as you want into this and just let it run. Just let it run. So I didn't run that many. I only did 182, 67% open rate, which is pretty damn good. I didn't have so many replies, but the point wasn't to get a reply, it was to book into my calendar. And here's what happened. 7 of them booked into my calendar from 282 emails. So I'm going to get this back up and running actually, because that worked really well. But that's a 3.85% booking meeting rate, which is really decent. We're always aiming from 2 to 6%. And this is really great because it's pretty much fully automated once you set up that basic stuff, which is ridiculously awesome because you're not, with the first liners, you have to type in the first liner. And don't get me wrong, it's one of the best ways to do it. But you have to type in every, 1,000 or 2,000, every month you need someone spending a few days doing first liners. This, you can just upload your list, find more prospects, keep uploading them, and you can send out hundreds of emails, thousands of emails, and it's nearly effortless after that, after checking it all. So it's a really cool way. So double check this. It's the Lemlist advanced features. I think Mailshake does the same thing, and a couple other tools. So definitely, this is also such a cool way. And this is for you. I created this concept. You can do so many different other concepts. Lemlist have other really good ideas of what they do, which works, like having a picture of a coffee cup with your name on it apparently works really well. I didn't like that one so much. There are loads of different automated personalization things that Lemlist is creating, and it's pretty cool. So check it out. And yeah, this is another way of personalizing your email. So if you want to check out more videos about cold email and also LinkedIn advertising, check out the other videos that are popping up here. I'm bringing out videos like this every single week. So also subscribe, hit the bell button, like, comment. It really helps the channel. Thanks so much. See you soon.